Thanks, Chris. And about 3 weeks away from pitchers and catchers reporting for spring training and the Braves trying to follow up on a spectacular 2010 run, we're joined now by Coach Freddie Gonzalez. And Coach, you were with the Braves 03 to 06, and how does it feel to be back and replacing your mentor and close friend Bobby Cox?
Well, it feels great. It really does. And you know, a lot of these guys finished playing in October, and you know, now we're ready to get going again. We really are, and it's a privilege and an honor to be able to be the next manager of the Atlanta Braves. Do
you feel like you guys are maybe overlooked a little bit? You added that power bat in Ugla, and you have a really good young nucleus.
You know, it's going to come down to injuries. You know, whoever survives the injury bug during the 162-game season. If the season starts tomorrow, I feel real good about our ball club. I like our chances. I like our starting rotation. I like our lineup, and I like our bullpen. The Phillies are the team to beat, I think. You know, they went out and got Cliff Lee, but we feel good about our team also.
And Chipper Jones, obviously, as we spoke about, has been a cornerstone for the Braves for many years. So are we penciling him in at third in that three-hole spot?
I have not made a lineup without his name not being in it, you know, and there's going to be some good days and there's going to be not so good days, and hopefully the good days outnumber the days that they're not so good. You know, it's a significant knee injury to a 30-year-old guy that's played a lot of baseball and is going to be in the Hall of Fame. So, again, his name's in the lineup because when number 10 comes up to bat, it still makes the other team cringe a little bit.
All right, thank you, Coach. Look forward to the season starting in a great 2011 season for the Braves. Thanks, Chris, and obviously a very exciting day for the athletes and their families as they sign their national letters of intent. We're here at Wild Wing Cafe for AB's 12th annual official signing day party, joined now by Ashley Brown of 580 WGAC. And Ashley, what a great day, the official signing day locally. Best day, worst day in your mind?
Well, it's a little bit of a down year, but I say one thing you got to look at is some guys who are in junior college now. Joe Carter from Silver Bluff playing in junior college. He signed with Nebraska. That's huge. And Caleb Broom, who's from Aiken, he's playing at Georgia Military. He signed at South Carolina. So maybe some of the high schoolers, maybe a little down, not as many D1 guys, but when you throw in those JUCO guys, it was still a good year.
And looking at the local colleges, Georgia, South Carolina, who had the best year, who had the worst year?
Georgia probably had the best year, but I tell you what shocked me was Clemson really had a great year. I think right now, if you look at most of the national polls, Georgia is probably among our local teams is ranked the highest, somewhere between 5 and 7 in the country. Clemson's also in the top 10. They got a couple of big 5-star linebackers. South Carolina's in the top 20, and a lot's going to rest on Jadeveon Clowney, the #1 player in the country, who's going to wait till Valentine's Day to make it official. If they get him, they may jump into the top 15, top 10. And then I think Georgia Tech, which is always the case, pulls kind of the rear as far as recruiting goes among local schools. But a banner year, really, Georgia locked up a bunch of key players.
All right, well, Ashley, thank you for your time. And Chris, a great way to finish out National Signing Day here at Wild Wing Cafe. Back to you guys.
He played a huge role. Ever since I was born, probably 3 years old, he's always had a ball in my hand, so that's what's kept me going with basketball.
And since that young age, Glasscock County senior Brooke Stevens has yet to put down a ball. Entering this year, Brooke was looking forward to playing out her final high school days in front of her family, especially her father, James, who helped her fall in love with sports. A first-class sergeant in the United States Army, James received word that he would be deployed to Afghanistan in June, only months before Brooke began her senior year.
It was very sad, a very sad time for us. When we found out he wouldn't be here for her senior year, I think that was the hardest part. Not as, you know, we've been separated before, you know, for 10 months when he was deployed before, but not being here for her senior year, I think that was the hardest part for him and for us.
My first reaction was, what in the world am I going to do? And but then I knew that he was going to serve his country, so I knew I had to step up and hold my place at the house and hold my place here on the court, you know, while he's been gone.
Brooke has more than held her own on the court, leading the Lady Panthers in scoring all season. On senior night, Brooke received a special surprise when her Aunt Linda read an email sent from her dad in Afghanistan congratulating her on what can only be described as a bittersweet season for their family.
He's been the inspiration. He's been everything since I was 3, so tonight's like his product, and I was really doing it for him tonight.
James has a scheduled return date for this April. The family is looking forward to celebrating Brooke's graduation together this spring, and they then will turn their attention to softball season, as Brooke has earned a scholarship to play at Augusta State University this fall. Reporting from Gibson, Georgia, Jen Daniels, News Channel 6 Sports. A 15,000-mile expedition from Alaska to Argentina, all on the seat of a motorized bike. Outdoor enthusiast and Augusta resident Will Adams saw an opportunity to combine two of his greatest passions, which would lead him to this remarkable journey.
It combines bicycles and it combines motorcycles into this compact package that I can build. So I can build my own transportation. It's completely feasible.
Adams and his expedition partner Matt Riley are embarking on this journey for much more than the exercise. Along their way through Central and South America, they will work with environmental groups on the lack of clean water in those countries.
80% of 2/3 of the world's population, basically the poorest of the world's population, 80% of their disease can be attributed to a lack of clean water and a lack of sanitation. So it's just this massive global problem. And then I started looking at all these different groups that were working to solve these problems. And we'll be working with them in Central and South America, where the problems are really, really bad.
Adams estimates that the expedition will take 7 months to complete if they ride 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. At the conclusion of their trip, not only will they have helped raise awareness for the lack of clean water, they will also be Guinness World Record holders for traveling the longest distance on a motorized bike. Reporting in Augusta, Jen Daniels, WJBF News Channel 6 Sports. In its 11th year, the Holiday Roundball Classic at T.W. Josie High School has given both boys and girls high school basketball teams the opportunity to enter the Christmas break with a few extra wins under their belts. Entering this season, many thought Clemson would contend for an ACC title. Augusta resident Kyle Parker even forfeited $800,000 after being drafted by the Colorado Rockies for a chance to play one final season of football. Things have not gone as planned for Parker or the Tigers. A win over South Florida would salvage their season, though. When we think of sports in the Augusta area, the first thing to come to mind would be golf or football, but what about hockey? Tonight at the downtown Marriott, a fitting end to what was a spectacular 2010 high school football season in the CSRA. News Channel 6's Football Friday Night Show, along with ESPN Rise, honored the 26 best high school players in the region. Players, coaches, and their families. Having a father who was the first at a university to receive a football scholarship, then go on to become an assistant coach and lead the team to a national championship, and later be inducted into the school's Hall of Fame may be a lot for some sons to live up to. But for John Douglas, his father Pat has always served as a role model. 25 years after leading Georgia. The latest Division II basketball polls were released today, and once again, USC Aiken and Augusta State are moving up. Aiken at 6-1 jumps up to 4th in the nation, while the undefeated Jaguars from Augusta State move up to number 8. Staying in hoops, high school, Westside head coach Marvin Fields played host to Lakeside tonight. Panthers, no problem making themselves at home early. A.J. Bennett knocks down the 3, but Westside would come back and respond. Showing off his own shooting stroke here, Frank Booker connects from deep, and the Panthers then showing that they can also get it done in transition. Booker pushes ahead to Ivory Drummer, and Westside would go on to win this one 44-42. This afternoon, Coach Hoover Johnson and Payne looking for their first victory of the new year. First half, Clark Atlanta with the good ball movement, and they knock down the deep 3. Payne would answer back on the offensive end. Marshall McFadden setting things up for his teammates. He drives and dishes to Tony Baker for the corner 3, and more Lions to come. They can't convert off of the early miss, but the good hustle here by Gino Green pulls down the board and hits the short putback, but in the end, too much Clark Atlanta. Payne loses 67-57. Payne women also in action today, taking on Clark Atlanta. This one was close throughout. The Panthers working it around the perimeter until Siobhan Caldwell knocks it down from deep. The Lions were getting it done on both ends today. Brittany Peavy with a great D, blocks it and kicks it ahead for the easy lay-in. Plenty to cheer about today if you were a Payne Lion fan. Peavy again, this time showing off her shooting stroke with the corner jumper. She led the Lions with 17 points and 10 rebounds. They win a close one, 60-58.